Alrighty. Good morning, everyone. You have 2 for 1 today.
Yeah, a little bonus action.
That's
Happy
right.
Tuesday, everybody.
So clearly, a lot of us walked out to what, as a native South Floridian, would think of a winter wonderland.
Yeah. Even though it's a tiny little bit.
just a little dusting of snow, but for the most part, now the story is kind of shifting to the black ice that's on the roadways out there.
Right. It was an interesting morning, Courtney, because of a weak little system that moved through overnight. And the snow part was kind of cool, but as you mentioned, the black ice was pretty dangerous.
That's right. So we have some photos for you first, and we'll go through some of the rolling road closures that are on our website. So first, Rodney, show the people what we got.
So thanks to, by the way, everybody who gave us some photos this morning. It's super early, so whenever we ask for photos at like 4 in the morning,
right.
Sometimes that can be tough. We get it. But this is from Patricia Martin in Banks County. I don't know if this was from this morning or this had to be from this morning. So that's showing what was some, a little dusting there on the grass. Photo number 2, this is actually from Brooks Baptiste, who took this as he was coming to work this morning. This is in our parking lot at Atlanta News First. You can see a little dusting on the ground in addition to some snow on the cars. This is myself walking to work this morning. You can see a little dusting on the grass. I also point out, because I went outside a few times, I feel like this was a combination of snow and sleet, because it was not as snow you can just kind of pick up and,
it's
and
fluffy.
play around with. Exactly. This was more icy. So I do believe a lot of this was actually sleet this morning. Here's another photo from our parking lot. So this was sort of the story this morning across Metro Atlanta. That's some grass. Some of that is still out there. I just checked, but as temperatures start to warm up, we're definitely going to see that melt. I want to walk people through like why we saw this quick burst of wintry precip overnight. It's already cold, you know that. We had a little trough of low pressure that moved through overnight. A trough is essentially like a weak boundary, a weak little cool front, think of it that way. And as that trough moved into North Georgia, it interacted with the cold air that was already in place. Normally when these troughs move through, it produces rain, but because it was so cold, it produced rain and it produced snow and even some sleet across North Georgia. I just spat like all over the place when I said that. I'm sorry, Courtney.
You didn't get me.
It produced a little wintry mix. So that's why we saw the snow. And here's the loop that's going to take you back to yesterday when the precipitation started. You can actually see where this happened last night. So First Alert meteorologist Fred Campagna and Carter Martin was actually showing you this last night. This was like 8, 9 o'clock, and that continued to move through during the overnight hours. And we got a pretty good burst, which is why you saw the dusting of snow, at least some of you, earlier this morning. First Alert radar right now is dry, but here is what we saw. And Courtney, you put this together showing some of the totals across North Georgia.
Yeah, and some of them, I mean, pretty impressive. An inch of snow in Lookout Mountain and in the valley over there, they picked up close to an inch. Mineral Bluff, we got an inch of an inch of snow. And
I'm used to saying that too. It's so hard to say snow.
Yeah, because that's normally what we get. And then in Atlanta, believe it or not, in downtown Atlanta over at the airport, they picked up 0.1 inches of rain. That was just yesterday, because we also picked up some technically after midnight.
Yeah, so and I've been trying to kind of verify that data because, as you mentioned, the 0.1 was from Monday, but because the precip continued overnight, we technically got 2 days of snow. We haven't verified the exact amount for today, but we know we picked up at least a trace today. So 2 straight days of measurable snow in Atlanta. So Courtney, that's 4 total snow days this year. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I had no idea. But
I can't remember. I guess January?
Yeah, it snowed twice in January. Same, like smaller amounts. But 2 days in January, which is almost a year ago. And then these 2 days makes 4 snow days, and we average 2 a year. So, man, what a week.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, we went from 8 degrees to we're going to be in the 60s in a couple days, picking up measurable snow. Now, the 0.1 is actually a record for yesterday, right? So it tied the record set back in 2010 for December 26th in Atlanta. And all I could think about is only in the southeast is 0.1 inches of snow.
We're talking
a record.
about a really tiny amount of snow.
But also, I mean, yesterday, so the air has been obviously very dry. I mean, all of our skin, I'm sure, is feeling the dry air, you know. So to see this system produce the amount of snowfall that it did was actually pretty surprising. But then kind of as it moved through, it picked up on the moisture, I guess, that we had hanging around in the air.
Yeah, and you're so right about kind of the onset of it, because normally whenever you have air that's as cold as it's been in Atlanta, and obviously we've seen some record cold, it's usually extremely dry, right? Like in the wintertime. So it's very difficult to get any kind of precipitation when it's this cold and this dry. So that was part of the forecasting yesterday. Will
we have enough?
Yeah, we knew this little trough would move through, but it's like, is there going to be enough moisture to actually produce the snow? And apparently there was.
That's right, there it is. So hey, it is, that's the hard part about being in the Southeast when it comes to snow forecasting, because we don't get it very often. And so anyway, hopefully everyone enjoyed it. But now, of course, we're talking about the icy conditions, which if you can click that bottom left corner right there, that'll pull. So on our website right now, and we'll get into some more of the forecast in just a second, because while it's very cold right now, we actually are going to start to warm up. If you are new to Georgia, first of all, welcome. Second of all, this kind of weather roller coaster happens a lot here. Maybe not this drastic, but it does. And so, we're seeing hello, people. Good morning, Wesley. Good morning to everybody. Linda, good morning. Everyone is saying good morning to us. Good morning, Michael. Hello, guys. So if you go to atlantanewsfirst.com, you can also go to our app. We actually have a rolling list of road closures because of the black ice that is out there in some spots. So we've had a handful over in DeKalb County. We've had some in Pickens County as well, over in Polk County. I'm trying to scroll on here. Let me see if I refresh this page, if it'll help me out a little bit. There we go. That was it. All it needed was a little refresher. So you can see here, Bartow County Sheriff's Office has issued some statements about road closures. So you just need to be really careful. Of course, we're starting to warm up now that the sun is out, so that ice should start to melt. But you need to just be really careful. It looks like Bailey Waters Road, at Max Wehunt Road and Duck Thurmond Road over in Dawson County. There's a closure there. It looks like we've had a couple in DeKalb County, Fannin County. A handful of government offices are delaying their opening time because of the ice, so just trying to keep their employees safe. And looks like Jasper Police Department, the city of Jasper particularly, because of course we also have a Jasper County. Philadelphia Road now open, thankfully, but just here are some images that you're seeing on your screen of some of the ice from earlier. And again, these should start to improve over the next several hours now that we are starting to warm up, which brings us to current temperatures.
Yeah, and this is super important because the black ice or ice, whatever form it's in, is entirely based on whether or not it's freezing. So when temperatures dropped to freezing at about 7 o'clock, Courtney, I think just about everybody was freezing or below. But now that we're starting to warm back up, the threat for ice, especially in metro Atlanta where it barely kind of dropped to freezing, the threat is going to slowly start to diminish. So even if you're seeing black ice out there, that's going to melt quickly as temperatures continue to warm. 32 is the magic number, Courtney, and at least on this particular map, just about everybody is above freezing. I believe I have a metro Atlanta map in here as well, so get a little bit closer. Fairburn in southwest Fulton County, that's southwest of the airport, you're still at 31 degrees. Ackworth is still at 32. So there may be some isolated locations out there that are still at freezing, but most of us are above freezing, Courtney, meaning that we should start to get better here, especially going into lunchtime.
Right, absolutely. I mean, the roads will still be a little bit, I guess, wet from the ice kind of melting, but that's not going to be quite as slippery as obviously black ice would be. So hopefully we'll start getting improving conditions there. Now, anything that's necessarily, I guess, shaded, that still might be a little bit of a problem spot. I was telling you something that was just insane to me was over by my house. Okay, so I live in Cobb County, and on Windy Hill there is a car wash, and so this car wash, any of the water, I guess people were like, oh, it's a pretty nice day today, I'm gonna go get my car washed. It's above freezing, at least in the afternoon. And the water that was coming from that car wash was spilling out on the road, and there was just ice all on the side of Windy Hill. So you still need to be careful. I mean, a lot of people's, of course, pipes have been busting and stuff, so you just need to be, there's still water out there from people still trying to just clean up from this weekend.
Right, and that's such a great point because even where I live, there's like drainage. And so when I walk out every day, every morning, there's water not from rain or anything, but just from the building. And so as you mentioned, there's non-weather related, water that could be out there as well. Those are the spots that you need to watch. And I'm guessing you're going to kind of know if you have those kind of spots in your neighborhood. but that's certainly an issue too.
Yeah, and we'll deal with that for the next couple of days. We will stay below freezing, I guess, tonight, and then we'll finally start to go above freezing by Thursday morning, I believe. Yeah,
yes.
Right.
And then, Thursday's also that day where we're back to 60.
Near 60.
Finally.
So that is wonderful stuff. Yeah, we are excited. I'm excited about the 60s. The weekend is going to bring some rain. I'm not sure if you had any of those graphics in your thing.
We're going to preview the New Year's Eve forecast because that's our next first alert. I did want to just specifically reach out to a few people on our Facebook page. So Michael Baxter is a long-time Atlanta News First
He's
fan.
loyal.
Yes, so thank you for joining, Michael. We appreciate you, buddy. Linda, she said she's going to pray for us.
Thanks, Linda. That's so
I'm
kind.
guessing that's because she thinks it's too cold.
Yes.
Thank you for that, Linda. Wesley, also a long-time Atlanta News First fan, so thank you for joining the Facebook Live. If you have any questions while we're on, please don't hesitate to ask us. We're going to answer whatever we can for you while we're on, and we'll try to also go back and answer your questions once we're off. So anything you need to know, whether it's about the cold or about the weekend, don't hesitate to ask. So Courtney, here is our weekend forecast, which I wish was better.
Yeah,
terrible
it
timing.
is a little bit of a shame that we are, first of all, we were bitterly cold on Christmas weekend, so that holiday kind of got a little bit ruffled. And then now we have New Year's Eve weekend coming up, and the rain is going to be the problem.
In fact, I was talking to our senior producer in the morning, Erica, and she was asking me, she's like, it's too cold outside. I was like, it's going to be fine. It's going to warm up this weekend. She's like, but then it's going to rain. I'm like, well, there's nothing we can do about that. But yeah, we're basically going to go from one threat to the other. So this is our first alert for this weekend. We got another system that's moving in from the west. It's going to start with some showers on Friday. New Year's Eve is the day that we're going to watch very carefully because that's the day where we will see scattered rain throughout the day. So that is a first alert. It's the worst timing possible because that's when we're all going to be out, on New Year's Eve. So just have a backup plan in store. I can say that New Year's Day will be dry. So if you're going to be out on New Year's Day, on Sunday, dry, 67 is your high. And as we kind of dive into it a little bit more, Courtney, for New Year's Eve, we've been looking at models that are kind of trending toward maybe the night, of New Year's Eve, being better than the day?
Correct. So at this point in the timing, we can only look at models that go far enough out, right? So our resolution isn't necessarily super high, but this is when we start to just kind of give you an idea of how the forecast process works for this. We kind of look at trends at this point. When the models come out 4 times a day, we're like, okay, how is it trending? Is it favoring one way over another? And at this point, our European model, which has done pretty well with our past couple of weather systems, that is thinking heaviest, most widespread rain in the morning, leaving by the early evening, and kind of clearing out by the time everyone would be heading out to any of the parties or the UGA game, anything like that. And now our GFS model is kind of starting to hint that it's falling in line with that, which would be, your yard might still be wet if you're having any backyard barbecue or any kind of party at your house, but if the physical rain moves out by the time everyone starts heading out, that would be, of course, better for traffic issues. That would be better for, what you're wearing and any of your outdoor plans, because a lot of people more than likely are going to have them on Saturday.
Yeah, so what we're doing right now is we're just first alerting the entire day because we want you to know that rain will be here. We want you to have a backup plan, but it is possible that as we get into Saturday night, which is like money time, right? That's, where a lot of you are going to be out, we may be trending better for Saturday night. But it looks like we're definitely going to see rain throughout the day. So if you're tailgating super early, I tailgate super early.
Rodney tailgates, yes.
So if you're going to be out there super early, know that you're going to get wet out near Mercedes-Benz Stadium. If you have any parties that you're going to do on Saturday, like during the day instead of at night, know that you will get wet. So anything during the day, that is, I feel like our confidence is higher during the day for sure.
Correct.
And then hopefully we'll continue to trend drier as we head toward the nighttime on New Year's Eve. But that's certainly something we're going to keep you up to date on in the app and on television. And I have our models, as you know, keep updating. So we're going to show you the latest models for New Year's Eve at noon.
Right, yeah, so you'll want to keep up with that because, a lot of people probably already, if they haven't already made their plans, then they're probably starting to make them this week. So, and a lot of people coming into town for the Georgia game. So,
and the Peach Drop, there's a lot of stuff that's happening.
Right, that happens at midnight, of course. So, and that is, it's the earlier the rain can get out, the better, but it still might be damp out there. I mean, so
Right.
your plans are going to be impacted by the rain either way. Just are you going to physically be getting rained on
Right.
late at night?
Late at night, right.
Is the big question. So that'll be updated.
And we can't say that it doesn't look like we'll see any severe weather, so that's good.
Right.
Just really rain at this point, and no winter weather, so you don't have to worry about any of that stuff.
It's actually going to be like mild rain, not cold rain, because we'll be in the mid 60s. I mean,
Yeah.
at night it's going to drop into the 50s, but like it's going to hover in a pretty, compared to I guess what we have been
Yeah.
sitting in, pretty mild.
Much better
Yeah.
on Saturday
I
than
mean,
what
still
we've seen
chilly
the past
rain if
week.
you're in the 50s, like as the night falls. But yeah, it's definitely going to be better than the single digits
Right.
we've had.
So no questions, Courtney, but Carl Nelson wants to wish us happy holidays.
Thank you.
Happy
We
holidays to
appreciate
you,
that.
Carl. And again, if you have questions later, feel free to put them on here. We have like an entire team,
Yeah.
our digital department. They let us know. We're checking ourselves as well, so we'll try to answer
Right.
those for you.
If you have any
throughout the
photos
day.
from yesterday too,
Yeah.
we want to see them. We
Send
could show them
those
at
our way.
noon. We can, put them on our Facebooks and stuff and shout you out a little bit. So we would love to see them. I was telling Rodney, I almost made a snow angel in the parking lot this morning.
I tried and I couldn't get it to move. That's when I was like, all right, maybe it's just sleet. I can't get anything to
man.
move.
Well,
but
good.
It's crazy to think what we've experienced over the past week. I mean,
Right.
as soon as winter officially hit, I mean, we basically got winter.
Winter.
The cold temperatures and snow.
And I think a lot of people to our north, to our west, got the winter that they didn't ask for. You
Right.
know, like this for us, I mean, like a little dusting of snow. I mean, black ice obviously not great, but for us that's kind of exciting to see
Right.
flurries fall from the sky. But then you have everyone up in the northeast
Like,
who got
nah, we don't need
feet
it.
of snow. Yeah,
Yeah.
winter definitely came in with a bang for them. So, but they're also supposed to get a little warmer as we head into the start of the new year. So that'll be, hopefully they can thaw out a little bit. They definitely could use that. So, all right, well, we're going to update everybody at noon. So
We will.
be sure to tune in. Thank you for joining us to talk
Yeah.
about the black ice again, which should kind of start to be less and less of a problem through
We're
the next
trending,
couple hours.
Yeah, better with that toward noon. And again, we're working on your forecast. We're going to have some brand new model data coming up at noon, so make sure and watch us on Atlanta News First.
Great. All right, everyone, you make it a great day. We will leave you with this. There you go.
With that?
That's it. Make it a great day, guys.